Welcome aboard, trainers! I'm Professor Bohdi, and today, I'm stumped.
Professor, I'm on the cusp of figuring out this device.
Trainers, you've joined us on the hunt for parallel Pokemon in the past, but today, things this week are different. We found this strange device after an ultra wormhole appeared over Snow Point City in Sinnoh. I've had Toasty analyze the device for weeks now while we continue to search for—
I think I've unlocked the device.
Thanks to Toasty and his new database called the Omnidex, we've been able to triangulate UBs from the world the device originated from. When word got around that a mighty dog tiger beast was running wild in the plains of Sinnoh, my first immediate thought was to call Pokemon Control to tame an Arcanine gone loose. But the Aether Foundation satellite imagery found something far deadlier. The UB has since taken to the Wayward Cave where it's hiding, no doubt scared and lost across time and space. Trainers, reports indicate that the Pokemon relies on sound and smell to track its prey, so leave the cologne at home.
Parallel from the multiverse. UB Tracker.
Once you get to know the fella, UB Tracker ain't so scary after all. This rough and tumble kind of mon is quite large, but so is its appetite for prey and also belly rubs. Now, of course, I'm referring to this one that took weeks to make docile, where we got to learn more about it. Upon closer inspection, this UB has tiny eyes underneath its shaggy fur, and instead relies on using the gills on its side to, wait for it, absorb odor and detect its prey's location. These features are incredibly sensitive, and a variety of odors either bring it to a standstill completely or incurs a dangerous outward reaction. Other than that, this creature is everything you'd expect at a glance. It's a strong hunter that uses its massive forearms and paws to swat at foes, and can gore away at the strong hide of its victims with its giant tusks. Its feathery fur is always fluttering about, using the air around it to further help it track its prey. Our next case takes us to Meteor Falls, in Hoenn, where, you guessed it, a shimmering meteorite has since made its home. We believe it to be a Pokemon, and not just alien debris that crash-landed in a location too on the nose to be overlooked. The surge in appearances of both Solrock and Lunatone has made things difficult for local rangers to investigate, and that's where we come in. Chunks of earth, rock, and other terrain seem to have a mind of their own here, making traversal difficult. Gravity is a one-way trip, till now.
Parallel from the multiverse. UB Meteor.
Yeah, I know the name's a bit on the nose, but that's what a codename's for after all. This strange UB is large and appears quite heavy, but with its psychic ability, able to hold the sum of its parts up as if they were as light as a feather. UB Meteor's psychic aura seems to have rippled across all the lands, as both Minior and Alola and even Staryu and Starmie and Kanto seem to be pulsating to its arrival. Nothing's set in stone, but we can posit that UB Meteor may be the ancient ancestor to many of those presumed extraterrestrial entities. As for its capabilities, the Pokemon doesn't appear to be as threatening as we figured. Its psychic abilities all seem to focus on controlling gravity, although mostly to protect its own well-being. It's able to reverse or slow gravity as needed, and operates in spaces as if it employs a trick room at a rate we've never seen. There's ancient ability on display here, and we intend to study this shooting star for as long as it'll allow us. Normally, a Pokemon, or in this case a UB, that lurks so deep in the ocean would never have reached our ears. But thanks to the Aether Foundation and their tech, spearheaded by Toasty and his access to the Omnidex, we were able to triangulate the location of an incredibly reclusive sea serpent that has terrorized the abyss at the bay over by Driftvale City. The lights that the Pokemon Lantern give off at night there seem to have been steadily dwindling, while another strange bioluminescent glow seems to grow stronger every night. I'm not sure what we'll find below, but I have a feeling it knows we're coming. Lantern, with its own light, became easy prey for another type of angler, which began to compete with its rival. Although, there's no competition here. This eel-like monstrosity is not one you want to be caught under the sea with. The most notable feature here, of course, is its unique hourglass-like bulb, hanging in front of its face to attract wayward souls in the deep. Biologically speaking, its body is very decrepit, with most of its energy manifesting in the front, guiding clumsy prey right into its terrifying bear trap-like maw. This creature is a menace, lending well to its visage and probably needs to hide in the dark before its face sends its prey swimming off. Speaking of face, you can see its tiny eyes are glazed over. Like UB Tracker, this entity doesn't rely much on sight, although we've noticed its eyes glowing when consuming prey. What exactly is going on with the light within this creature? Absol, a Pokemon known to foretell incoming disaster, seemed to signal hikers of the giant chasm in Kalos of coming doom. Kyurem, a husk of the original dragon and a legendary in its own right, was found here once, but the area has been since vacated and tales of that chilly night are told like fable. But maybe a new fable is being born, which explains why we're out on this case. I've reached out to Bryson, who has agreed to lend us his icy hot spirit and discover why the area is once again covered in ice. What could possibly have a similar power and level of control over the tundra like the legendary Pokemon Kyurem?
Parallel from the multiverse. Louie shivering.
When we reached the chasm, we found the bodies of frozen Pokemon. This was the work of something deadly and dangerous. A chill right down our spines. A shiver that felt like an eternity. When standing face to face with an entity capable of controlling ice and phasing through the material plane, UB Shiver's designation should make a lot more sense. Its terrifying appearance, calculating eyes, and chilling personality all combined together to create a cunning and devious hunter. It makes sense in hindsight for it to thrive where Kyurem once did, and thanks to your part in retrieving this Pokemon, we can slowly study this creature and revert the damage it's done in that environment. In our initial research into its capabilities, we've discovered that despite its bulky body, it's quite lithe, and its wings allow it to soar silently through the night. Its face is bathed in complete darkness, and no amount of light seems to shed information as to what is actually contained in the beast.
On Professor's orders, Cxdy here to assign the question of the day. Which Ben 10 alien would you like to see as a Fakemon? Describe them in full for extra credit. Be sure to comment your reply below by end of day. The tracking Pokemon.
Wildemar are pack hunters who are able to synchronize their movements by being hyper-aware of their party's location by smell alone. They can make mental maps of their environment by using their senses, heightened by the fact that they are nearly blind. Their large tusks are powerful, but usually end up inconveniencing their bite because of how large they are. Mightior are considered to be one of the oldest living entities across the multiverse, having traveled through time and space and leaving their psychic residue that imbues spirit in new meteors. Fields of this Pokemon travel slowly, but bide their energy for when they need it, as the amount of psychic output needed to keep itself in its own orbit is nigh incomprehensible. Anglorath's ghostly green lights are actually the wispy souls of its previously consumed prey, its past hauntings guiding its way in utter darkness. A swift swimmer, it hides much of its body into crevices, only keeping its head out to draw in prey not only by just its light, but through the whispers of tortured souls begging for help, tricking Pokemon to come to the aid of Pokemon long gone. Repolar is hyper-aware of its presence and uses its terrifying visage to its advantage. Silent hunters, they are able to cast snow from their wings, freezing its prey at a single touch of a snowflake. Seasoned hunters have longer and more complex crystalline antennae, the longer of which denote an icier chill at their whim and beckon.
Registration complete.
Perfect.
Thanks for watching today's episode, trainers. I want to give a shout out to our growing community who helped in so many ways for today's art over at my streams. Don't hesitate to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can join us and get sneak peeks at new content in development. I also want to take this time out to show some massive love to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I've been Professor Bohdi, aka Mr. Bonny John.
And I've been Toasty.
Until next time.